Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of February. I hope you're well. I'd just like to take a moment to thank you all for sticking with me. I know I disappeared for longer than I said I would, but the exhaustion was real, and as soon as I stopped I realised how tired I was, and it's taken a little while to get back up to full speed again, but touch wood, I think that we're getting there now. So using the Crow Tarot for you today. It really seems to have attached itself to you, this deck, which I quite like. What do I have to tell you? There will be an extended at the end of this reading, so if what you hear resonates with you and you'd like to go a little bit deeper, there's a link down in the description box. You can follow that. It will take you to Vimeo. The extended will be there. And I've also done a 6-month overview for all of the signs from January to June 2021. And also, again, if you want to have a look at that, feel free. The link is in the description box. Right, let's have a look at your energy now. Can I have 3 cards for Sagittarius, please? Oh, here's the first one. We've got the Queen of Wands. That's strictly Aries, but it could be you, or it could be a significant Leo, or it could just be energy. Let's see. Sagittarius, please. Oh, that's beautiful. We have the Ace of Wands and Temperance right in the middle. That's tremendous. There's a lot of fire energy here. And what's coming towards Sagittarius, please? Oh, hopped out. Page of Swords. Interesting. We've got the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and that often talks about taking a step back. It's a break. It can be compassionate detachment, or it can be healing off the back of something that is very different. I'm sure that once the cards start coming out, we'll have a better sense of what it refers to. And let me get some clarifiers, and then we'll delve a little more deeply into this. So, why is the Queen of Wands here for Sagittarius? Ooh, please. Thank you. We have the Devil. It's Capricorn energy. And we have the Nine of Cups. Ooh, very intriguing. Tell me about the Ace of Wands and Temperance, please. There we go. We've got the King of Cups, Scorpio energy. We have Justice, and I'm going to pull one more for that because we have got 2 in your current energy. And the Ace of Pentacles. What are you up to, Sagittarius? I like it. And the Page of Swords, please. Why is that here for Sag? Whoa. 9 of Pentacles. Ooh. And the Hanged Man. Ooh, I like that. We have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Not at all surprised to see that there for you. It indicates determination, you know, goal setting quite often. And you don't want to get in the way of a Sagittarius when they've decided that they're going to do something. That's quite dangerous territory there. But it is about the self. It can talk about, you know, self-empowerment and stuff like that as well. So quite a lot going on here, actually, Sagittarius, which I quite like to see. I'm going to just pull the John Bauer deck out because I think we'll be referring to it in a moment. So what you have in your recent past is the Queen of Wands. Now, like I said, that is strictly Aries, but it could indicate you, it could indicate a Leo, or it could be energetic. And I feel like maybe energetic is what we're going for here. It's interesting how much balance there is here in this reading. Right? We've got the Queen of Wands, and I like the Queen of Wands in the Crow Tarot, right? Because that Queen there is straddled the top 2 lions. The King is sitting on only one. I think there's something to be said about the power of feminine energy there, at least, anyway. But she has an ace in her claws, you know, in her little foot there. It indicates confidence, for sure. Balance, we're looking at here, definitely. There's something a bit more measured in your energy of late, Sagittarius, which is quite an interesting thing to say. But your card is strictly the Knight of Wands, right? It's one that talks about, well, you know, its shadow side is a lack of commitment and somewhat loose morals, shall we say. But on its flip side, you know, the positive side of that card, and there is one to every single card, is freedom, liberation, really living life in the moment, right? But it can be prone to being a bit hasty, a bit reckless, that sort of thing. This feels like a step up for you. There's something about your energy recently that's really matured, Saggy, and you're not like full king yet, but would you really want to leap from there to there? It would be a little bit too much. So we've got a kind of graduation here, and there's an increasing confidence in the way that you are approaching life. You know, maybe you've been doing a bit of inner work and you're getting some insight into yourself there, or maybe things are just working out nicely in front of you because you have been applying yourself in some way or another. It's clarified by the Devil and the Nine of Cups. And like I said, this Devil is Capricorn energy, but I can't help but notice it seems to be the same woman in both cards here. Check that out. Very much. The Nine of Cups is all about taking personal responsibility for your own happiness, right? It's about not just knowing what makes you happy, but knowing how it is that you will bring it to your life. It's appreciating it once it's there, you know, and it's absolutely not, under any circumstances, asking anyone else to do that for you. It's a very empowered stance to find yourself in, and one I think sits absolutely beautifully here with the Queen of Wands. This Devil energy is quite interesting though, so I want to pull another card for that and see what that's talking about. For some of you, it's going to refer to a slipping of the leash of things that have frightened you. You know, I think I've done a couple of readings for Sagittarians over the last few days. 2 or 3 actually, three or 4. And something that's consistent in the Sagittarian experience is almost, it is this kind of happy-go-lucky exterior that you know, show to the rest of the world. And for the most part, you could absolutely believe. But there's always keeping a little bit of yourself back, and it's always something quite emotional, right? But contained within that often is also a fear of allowing yourself to relax and be happy, right? Sagittarius is always zooming, right? It's a standing joke in my house. It's my daughter zooms everywhere and my partner zooms everywhere, and there's me just being all like fixed fire, just being all like, okay, what's going on here? I'm just zooming everywhere. And where things are difficult, where things have been difficult, you find yourself in a challenging situation, it's almost like you don't dare let that bit of you out, the bit of it that can just relax and enjoy your circumstances. What about the Devil? Oh, that one flipped out. Interesting. Good Lord. Right, what have we got here? 8 of Wands, a Sagittarian card. Page of Wands, which I always actually associate with like that childlike energy of Sagittarians. And the Temperance card, again, right, it's you. We have the 9 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Bottom of the deck. This in and of itself indicates a maturation of energy as well, because this is somebody who is becoming self-sufficient and independent. Now, I'm not saying that Sagittarians are not that, because you are by definition that, but there's a bit of something that you've been holding on to for a long time, and it's been protecting this right. There's been this fear of allowing yourself to relax and allowing yourself to be happy and allowing yourself to enjoy the potential for things just to get better, right? You've always been very good at enjoying the moment, but then it's gone and you're on to the next thing. There's more longevity here, right? You don't get to a 9 of Pentacles state without having to put in a lot of effort, and one would assume a level of planning to get to where you are, right? Huh. Interesting. This is fascinating, right? We've got the 4 of Swords underneath there, which is... Did that come out for you? Yes. It was the Shadow card at the bottom of the Crow Tarot. Then we have the Knight of Wands, which is you. And we also have the Queen of Wands nestling behind, right? There's a process that you're undergoing here, and it's really quite extraordinary. We have the High Priestess here too. And she's about that inner wisdom, you know? But one aha that one must be still to receive, right? There's an instinct about Sagittarians, but it is somewhat wild, it is somewhat untamed, and it's very good at having you change direction very sharply to avoid things. And this is interesting because this has been in my head for the last couple of days now, and I don't really know why it is, and I think it's because I need to do a video on it, right, specifically for Sagittarians. Conflict avoidance, right? It keeps being repeated to me over and over again, and so I think we need to talk about it. But the particular kind of instinct that you're blessed with allows you to veer away from trouble at the very last minute, right? It's just like, see a sign, right, fuck, I'm off that way. Right? It's a really good indication to how Sagittarians move, actually. Fuck, this way. Anyway. This Queen of Wands and this Four of Wands and this Four of Wands here talks about something of a slowing down, right? A paying attention to things, not just right now, but in the future, and possibly somewhat in the past as well. This High Priestess is the most passive card in the deck, and it seems like you're tapping into a new kind of wisdom, Saggy. And it's not one that's born of speed. It's not one that's born of instinct, because that's probably the best way. Like instinctive creatures, just like, ooh, you know, and you're off. This is something slower that is building in you, right? So I'm fairly comfortable that this devil here is because, you know, just as this woman is turning her back there on that, right? Turning your back on the fear of allowing yourself to relax and enjoy something longer than just the here and now. We've also got this Page of Pentacles. Now, he came out in the reverse, and ordinarily I would be slightly troubled by that, but I'm not in this case, because in the John Bower, there's this rather murky, grimy, sinister-looking creature who's got, you know, money bags, hoarding things. Right? That's how it feels, hoarding. And for you, it's been hoarding a bit of yourself away from everybody else that you've been trying to keep protected. Now, that is in the reverse, and that's important because it's a release, it's letting things go. But here we have the Eight of Wands, and then we have the Page of Wands, and then we have the Temperance card, right? You've always been a powerful creature, right? You're a fucking mythical beast, right? But there's always been a bit of you that has been hidden away, and that seems to be the thing that is really fighting to come to the fore now. And for the first time, it feels like you're letting it do it, right? We have the Eight of Wands, and it could be that you feel like you have a message to give to the world, right? There's something of a pull, something towards purpose that seems to be coming up for you here. But if it's not, it can well indicate an increase in momentum. And the card that's following this Page of Wands is card of a new start, but a really, really exciting new start for you. And it is one in which you are able to be entirely yourself. And the Temperance card is about healing and balance and all those things that we talk about. But look how we step beautifully into this. It's right here. Cool. All this time I haven't been talking about where you've been. So where you are right now is with the Ace of Wands and Temperance. You're more yourself now than you have been ever before. I said that, you're kind of stepping into it, but there's an increase in the level of power that you are feeling. And for some reason, some of you have felt distinctly disempowered at times of late, particularly with regard to the difficult situations that you found yourself in last year. And I'm thinking towards, like, right towards the beginning of the year. So about this time last year, when things were just ridiculously hard, and it felt like you were kind of, you know, this skeleton trying to get out of this awful meat suit that you found yourself trapped in, around with, you know, other kind of slightly toxic creatures. Like you were just trying to escape from your own skin. It felt like there was a difference between what was in the inside and what was being reflected to you in the outside, and it was getting intolerable, right? Until you made the move, until you changed something. And at that point you started to relax. But this whole year-long process has been about you then relaxing more and more into that. And there's such a contentment now. And you've slowed down a little bit in some ways. Now, I've alluded to before to this notion that I have that Sagittarius do a lot of moving forwards in a straight line very, very fast, because it stops them having to ever look back. Because looking back is where there is lots of pain, lots of very, very difficult things to deal with. If you're charging forwards at 1,000 miles an hour that way, or even zigzagging, because let's face it, that's the best way to avoid getting shot with a bow and arrow, right? You don't have time to look backwards. But as you've started to slow down, and I really do feel this kind of slow down, there's almost a settling vibe coming off you now. You're never going to stop because you're Sagittarius. You're always going to be moving and restless and all that sort of thing. But there's more peace in here than I think I've ever sensed off you. This Ace of Wands is here, and it's a sparky energy, and it's very, very exciting, but it's potential. For the first time, it seems like you're slowing down to meet potential and to allow it to expand. All right, we've got the King of Cups here. Now that is Scorpio energy, like I've said. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Tarot doesn't care about gender. It's just the masculine presentation of the energy, right? So with the King, it is active masculine energy. The Queen is passive and receptive, you know? There's such a road that you've travelled with your own emotions just in this last year. It's been longer than that, but the true change has occurred in the last year, that you almost don't recognise who you were this time last year. And I can't think of anything that would give you more joy and contentment than you are apparently feeling right now. It's really wonderful to behold. We have here the Justice card and the Ace of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, it may be that you're dealing with some sort of legal issues. You know, it might be divorce, possibly. Something like that. If it is, it feels like it's a paper exercise at this point. It does not feel like you are over invested in it as a life event, and that's right and proper. That's the way it should be. To be honest, that's what I would expect from a Sagittarius anyway. You like to draw lines under things and move on, but this settling into, this slowing down, this contemplation, gentle contemplation, right? Because you are the philosophers of the zodiac, and you'll sit there and you'll debate the big ideas about things. You know, pretty deep into stuff. But this feels like, it feels lighter. It feels much more relaxed, and it feels like contentment. It feels a little bit like the wounds of the past. You're getting a little bit more comfortable in kind of acknowledging that they're there, and the work that you're doing on it doesn't feel like it's excoriating anymore. It feels like a natural part of the process because you are settling into the energy. So you might be dealing with a divorce, or you might be dealing with some sort of legal proceedings or contracts or something like that, and they're clearing the way for a new opportunity. Perhaps there is a new opportunity involved in those legal proceedings. But the Ace, just as the Ace of Wands here, is an opportunity to start something new in the 3D, right? It doesn't have to be money. It could be a job, it could be a new house, it could be a promotion, it could be all of those sorts of things. The idea is, you know, on that level of interpretation, it is something that enhances your material environment in some sort of way, or the opportunity to do something that will enhance your material environment. But Saggy, for you, I actually feel like this is you living differently to how you always have done, you know? And it's by choice, which is interesting, because last year, what really, really panicked you was the fact that you'd been somewhere for such a long time because it didn't occur to you to do it any differently. You just kind of got your head down, you knuckled down and you got on with things, which is very much what Sagittarians do. But you're here out of choice. You want to be here and you want to continue on down this road. It's such a beautiful energy. Let's see if the John Bauer has anything else to say about this. Tell me about this Justice card and the Ace of Pentacles, please. Thank you. Wow, it's quite the story coming out down here. Oh, fuck, right. There's that card. Like, it's flipped. Let's take it out. It's the Sun. It's the card of Leo in the Major Arcana. But it also, it also talks about joy. It talks about contentment. It talks about being ruled by Leo. It's about a playful energy. It's like finding the fun again without any of the shit that accompanied you trying to chase your fun, right? Presumably at the hands of somebody else who didn't really understand how you worked. Now we've got the Fool at the bottom of the deck here. It's the card of Aries, but it is absolutely a new start, and it's followed by the Magician, which is the next card in the Major Arcana, right? We're running consecutively now. This is a pure expression of trust in the future and what the future holds for you that you haven't really experienced before. But more than that, you are a full and willing participant in what comes next, right? There's no hiding any part of yourself here. It's just like, no, I'm here. I'm here for this all day long. We've got the Two of Cups directly after that, and it might well be that actually it is because you've met someone who's helping you along this path. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. We could be talking friends, co-workers, you know, members of family that you're kind of getting back in touch with, something like that. It is two people who come together with a shared value system, you know, maybe shared goals, something like that. There's an alignment there, and they just sort of come together. And they certainly seem to have been influential on you in some sort of way. But what I'm seeing here is somebody who is really looking to live their best life and authentically, with no sense of fear at all. It's that the cards that preceded this Sun card are the Eight of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups in reverse. These are the things that you are leaving behind, right? So there's an acknowledgement here that where you felt trapped, actually you weren't, right? Now this has been a bit of a sore point with you because you realise that you let things go on in whatever it was that you were doing before for far too fucking long because of your make-do kind of attitude about things, right? You were like, well, my emotional stuff's all kind of, it's tucked away, it's safe, it can't be touched, and I'll just kind of canter along doing, you know, what I do. You were keeping yourself trapped there. That's pissed you off, but it's something that it's something that you're working with, it's something that you're letting go. Because we've got that Four of Pentacles there. Some things are more important, you know. Sagittarians aren't afraid to rock the boat with anyone apart from the people that they're really, really close to, and then it's something akin to a paralysis, the possibility of even, you know, indulging in it at all. So you kind of suffered whilst making do for the benefit of keeping things as they were all the time, right? That's what you're releasing. And this Four of Cups in reverse is an indication that you're really understanding that you were rejected on an emotional level, and that's why you tucked that bit of yourself away. That's why it was not open for public consumption, or even, you know, those people who were so very close to you, right? Tucked it away just under there, like nobody needs to see it, nobody needs to know about it, you know? You invalidated your own emotions, almost, for a long time. Now there's something that you seem to be getting to grips with now. And this is so very important. It's really important in terms of your empowerment, which we're seeing here, and also your resolve to live differently moving forwards. You know, if it is a person that you've met, if there is a significant person that this is here, you know, maybe they showed you how to, maybe they held space for you, and they showed you how to hold space for your own emotions. Like get your emotions out and give them a little exercise every now and again, you know, just no drama, because it doesn't have to be drama. Just let it out and have a practice at it, and then kind of put it away again, but knowing that it is safe to do so, you know, without fear of ridicule or emotional manipulation or, you know, emotional blackmail, whatever whatever it was that people were doing to you, you know. You're valuing yourself as a whole now, Sagittarius. It's not just one aspect of you, it is all of you, and I feel like you're really enjoying it at the same time. It hasn't come without its, well, without its losses. It hasn't come without its losses, and it hasn't come without its challenges, but ultimately where you are now is a better place than where you were before, and that's the best we can hope for at any given point, I think. Now, what's coming towards you is the Page of Swords. Now, this is interesting energy. It talks about an expansion of the mind to me. So sometimes that can be by way of, you know, putting more information in your head. It can be about going off and learning new things, you know, stuff like that. But let's read it in the context of the two cards that come with it, because we've got that Nine of Pentacles again, right? Independence, all that sort of thing. But we've got the Hanged Man here. Something of your perspective has changed so dramatically over the course of this year. You no longer see anything the same way that you did this time last year. And I think you're here for that all day long. I think that you love that things are different now. I think that you're walking around feeling like an improved version of who you were a year ago. What you get? It's the best we can all hope for sure. But I feel like there's something slightly missing from this picture here. So I'm going to pull another couple of cards, because I am wondering if there is an event, there is some sort of communication here. I'm not saying any more. It's kind of what I'm feeling. I'll get some more cards. I'll get some more information about this page, please. Thank you. Okay. Not going to take them unless they jump. Thank you. King of Wands. There's Leo energy, or it might well be you. Chariot. Right. What the cards are not saying to me here is that there's some sort of catalyzing event, or, you know, chat with a person, or someone that causes this. But it feels like in February there is something like that. There is some sort of event. There is some sort of interaction with someone who was more familiar with who you were before than who you are now. And I think that this is really quite illuminating for you, because it throws into sharp relief just how different you are now, right? We've got the Seven of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and we have the Nine of Wands here, right? That's boundaries, and that's a situation that you're not happy with, right? It's not satisfactory in some way or another. The only people that you have had difficulty having boundaries with are those people that got really, really close to you and then made you feel trapped, made you feel restricted. Can you see how I'm kind of circling around this? So it feels to me like this is some sort of interaction with someone who is more familiar with that old version of you, right? Maybe somebody who was really good at pressing your buttons, or bringing out, you know, the emotional manipulation, something like that. Because what this seems to be is a teaching moment for you, right? A moment for you to stop, which is, you know, you're never going to stop, but you're getting good at pausing for reflection, to give you Pause for reflection and see how very fucking far you have changed, right? The Nine of Pentacles, you are a full sovereign being, you know, all of yourself. But it's this Hanged Man that's critical here. It's the change in position. It is the, perhaps it's the refusal to engage with a person, is what I've heard, who is coming to come and press your buttons, right? They're going to have a good go at pressing your buttons, and you're just not responding. You're not biting. More than that, you're not avoiding it and running away, right? It's almost like you behave so differently, you react so differently to even what you knew you would react like before, that it's almost a bit of a shock for you, right? The cards that have come out here, we've got a whole clutch of them. We've got the Nine of Cups here, which is all about your personal happiness, right? The very thing that you've acknowledged here, where you are comfortable and happy and content, or at least willing to relax into the possibility of that being a thing moving forwards. But then we have the Wheel of Fortune, right? Now that is your card strictly, right? It's ruled by Jupiter, so Sagittarius card. But it's about fate and destiny. It's about the wheels turning. It's about something kind of coming in. Often you see it when your fortunes are going to improve, but that's not by accident. It's because you've learned something really fucking profound. Your energy has shifted as a result. Your vibration has changed. It's you know, it's risen, it's elevated, and all that kind of thing. And the universe goes, oh hey, check out that Sag down there, right? Let's throw them something cool. And then we've got the King of Wands and the Chariot. Now this feels like, and like I said, this could be a Leo around you, it could be an Aries, just like we had with that Queen there, but this is a stepping up again, right? So we've gone from the Knight, we've gone up to the Queen, and now here is a situation where you get to actively exercise this newfound sense of self that you have, that you've been developing for the last year. Here it is. And because you are so content, and because you are so much more comfortable with every aspect of yourself now, you can't get knocked off your perch in the same way that this person is accustomed to doing it to you, right? Now it could be one person, or it could be, you know, it could be family members or something like that. You know, you go home for a bit and you haven't seen people because of everything that's been going on, you know, and the normal kind of familial little petty squabbles start, and you're just not responding, right? It could be siblings, it could be cousins, it could be that you know, grumpy old aunt that isn't dead yet, you know, that kind of thing. Or it could be an ex-partner, right? It could be somebody that you fell out with, a friend, something like that, a work colleague that you haven't seen in a while, who, you know, that sort of thing. The whole event, the whole interaction, whatever it is, it's designed to show you how far you have come, right? Because it's even further than you think it is, actually. Oh, it's absolutely delightful. I really like this for you, Sagittarius. What a tremendous check-in. Yours was one of the first 2021 videos that I did, so I barely recall what came up in that, but I remember it being kind of really outrageously positive. Really ridiculously positive. And this seems like part of it. Like, what this is a validation of the journey that you've been on for the last year. Huge validation for you. One that's enough to make you pause and go, wow, I would have reacted really, really differently to that last year. I'd have been up in my head about this for the next month, and I would have pushed it to one side, and I would have been vexed, and there probably would have been something that came out somewhere before I then just pushed it down and go, no, you're being silly, you're just being emotional about things, it's ridiculous, and just kind of squash it, put it under your hooves, you know. There's just something much more relaxed about this whole process here. I love it. I love it for you. So I'm going to leave it there. If this has resonated with you, remember that there is that link down in the description box. Both links are down there, so you can go and check those out. But know that I love you all very, very much, and I'll see you soon.